Microdose, yeah. Microdose, 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 dose. Microdose, microdose, dose. Microdose, microdose, dose.
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here. I'm a new episode number 171 of the Microdose, Friday the 13th edition. Holy shit. I don't know about you, but Friday the 13th's never been a bad day for me. Like, a lot of fantastic things have happened to me on Friday the 13th. Let's ask our guest a little bit about that. You know him from the original Waffle Box. It's the Waffle Box. You set no substitutions because it is the best part of Wednesdays, and we'll get into that whole spiel later at the end of the episode. He also does Claret and Big Blue, the only podcast to talk about West Ham United and your New York Football Giants. Mike Fish, friend of the family. What's good, yo?
Hello. Greetings, my good fellow. How are you?
Doing well. Greetings and salutations, kind sir. Thanks for joining us on today's Microdose. Yeah, man, it is Friday the 13th. Are you a superstitious guy by any chance?
Do you know what? Sometimes I don't know. I'm pick and choose with my superstitions.
Fair enough.
Like, I think they're all stupid. Like the people that won't walk on cracks on the pavements, and the black cat's nearby. Oh. But you know what? If I drop a mirror, I'm shitting myself. Like, don't break them.
Oh wow!
So
really?
it's weird.
Okay.
The odd ones are because sometimes I'm pretty sure it's all bullshit, but what if it's not? 7 years is a long time.
7 years is a long time. What do you think? What do you remember from 7 years ago? Like, first off, what was 7 years ago? Is that 2017?
2016?
2016. So let's see. It would be 6 months after Batman vs. Superman came out, and I'd still be pretty salty about that. But yeah, like, what else do you remember about 2016?
Well, it's a pivotal year for me because 2016, around this, no, it was Halloween. Halloween was my final shift at my British job after being made redundant. And then 3 weeks later, on the eve of Thanksgiving 2016, was when I moved to these United States of the Americas.
Nice.
So 7 years ago, it's quite vivid in my mind. It was great. Okay. Especially those last 2 or 3 weeks before I left my job. Because they'd obviously announced, hey, FYI, we're letting you go at the end of the month. And here's your redundancy package, or whatever, severance package, as you call it over here in America. And so I just went to work and did nothing. I just played games on Facebook. It was awesome.
That's the best, isn't it?
And then when my manager would come into the office and be like, aren't you supposed to be doing some work? And I was like, apparently not, because if I was, if anything I was supposed to do was important enough, you wouldn't be letting me go at the end of the month. So,
boom.
And he was like, oh, yeah, good point. And he would just leave me to play games.
I wanted to get more into superstitions, but since we're talking about you coming to these United States of America, like, I know you had been to the States before that, but when you finally located yourself here, what was your first big culture clash? Like, what was the thing? Like, that's a thing? Really? What the fuck? Why would you do that over here, United States?
Taxes.
Yeah.
Like, that's because obviously we have tax in the United Kingdom, but it's they just do it all for you. They make sure all the correct amount of tax is taken out, and then at the end of tax season, you're either good and you don't hear anything, or sometimes you get a little letter from the British version of the IRS and it says, oh, sorry, we took too much tax. Here's a little check for you. They just do it all for you. It's fine. And then in the stores, that's the biggest one for me, is, in a store, if you see something on the shelf and it says, this item will cost you £5, you can go to the checkout and leave happy that the transaction has been completed. Whereas over here, if it says $5, you better have $5.19. Oh, I hate it when they add shit at the end. Like, what the Just tell me up front how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my little gripe. That would annoy me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then as we got into the recent Waffle Box, check it out, episode 119, enjoywafflebox.com. The whole just the wordage things, but you say one thing, we say another. But I must admit, after 7 years, there are certain things where I'm like, wait, am I saying the American version or the British version? I don't even know anymore. So I get
it does have to get confusing at some point, right? Like, yeah, like I remember giving you some grief when you went off to the UK on one of your trips back home, and then I was like, so did your friends like start talking shit like, what's up with this accent, dude? Why are you talking like a Yank now? Like you're so Americanized, Mike Fish. What the fuck?
there'd be little things where I wouldn't even notice it, but then I'll be just like, maybe I'll be around a friend's house, and oh, where's the garbage? And they're like, garbage? Where's the garbage? It's the rubbish. I was like, oh yes,
The rubbish.
The rubbish bin.
Okay.
We don't call it trash or garbage. It's rubbish. That's rubbish, my dear man.
Rubbish out here is sounds like just when someone bites their tongue and just says something stupid. Just rubbish is more of a phrasing than it is actual waste or trash out here. But all right, like I said, back to superstitions. Some of the best things in my life have happened to me on October the 13th, or Friday the 13th, I should say, regardless of the month. Once upon a time, met one of my first true loves. Also got in contact with my sister for the first time. Like little sister Hayes is a thing, but she was not a thing until like 7 or 8 years ago. It was crazy. Just like got an email one day because of a DNA test that I took, and then it's like, you are all these different things. Oh, and here are some people you're related to. And I remember seeing this one name, and it was right above my aunt, and I was like, hey, Aunt Betty, who's this lady? I'm like, I don't know who that is. So I just reached out to her like, hey, I don't know who you are, but blah, 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 blah. And then like, took a couple months for her to get back to me, but it would have been on Friday the 13th. And she's like, hey, I think I'm your sister. And I'm like, wow, get the fuck out of here. That's amazing. Oh,
That's pretty lit.
yeah, it's pretty wild, dude. And then we've been tight ever since, man. Like, yeah, I don't want to picture life without little sister Hayes these days. It's a good thing. So, but yeah, man. I am not worried so much about breaking mirrors. That's never been I don't have too many mirrors around here to break. I do avoid stepping on cracks, but I don't think it's a superstitious thing. I think it's just I got that stupid nursery rhyme in my head. And then also I'm just trying to keep a consistent pattern of walking. So I like to see how many steps I can take before I do finally step on that line or that crack, which would ultimately break my mother's back.
But I'm not. There's some weird thing. I don't know if it's so much of a superstition, but I remember one night I was in Vermont, where it was like middle of nowhere, hardly any light pollution, so the stars were fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I saw a shooting star.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, shooting star. And someone was like, oh, like dead serious. Did you make a wish? No, I didn't. Like, why would a piece of rock just entering the Earth's atmosphere and then burning up suddenly grant me my life's wish?
Oh my, you're fun at parties.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. This is why I drink, because sober me is a real buzzkill.
Yeah, what other superstitions are out there? There's
rabbit's foot. Did you ever hear that one?
Foot. I know of a
rabbit's foot. Make you lucky or bring you luck.
It's lucky for everybody but the rabbit. But
the rabbit. But I was like looking up on this like article about different types of superstitions, and it's the most ridiculous. Like someone was obviously bored or given this article to write, and they didn't really want to do it. It's like, oh, the 13 most common superstitions and why are they a thing?
13 superstitions. Nice.
Get it? 13. Mm-hmm. But they're just reading through it. They're just like, we don't know. Next one. Why does bad luck come in threes? It might have been this, but I don't know. But there's no real context to any of these. It's like rabbit's foot. Rabbit's feet as talismans may hark back. I love that you use the word hark. Hark back to early Celtic tribes in Britain, but they may also arise from hoodoo. Who knows? It's like, okay. It would have been at that point, if you don't know and no one can really prove it, just go fucking hog wild and make shit up. Oh yeah, the reason the rabbit's foot is considered luck is because in the 17th century, a woman named Judy was falling from a great height, and she fell on a rabbit, and it saved her life. And she severed the rabbit's foot accidentally with her iPhone that was somehow in the 17th century. And so she kept it for luck. It's a great story. Just make shit up.
Nice. I know baseball players are quite superstitious, but it gets real ridiculous with their superstitions to the point where they're like, well, we won yesterday, and I was wearing these particular socks yesterday, so I'm going to wear these socks again today. Not going to wash them. I'm going to wear these socks again today. And it gets real weird like that, to the point where like it bleeds into the rest of the environment, where like crew members, like people on the part of the TV crew, like, well, I had a good day at work yesterday, so I have to wear this utility vest today. I was wearing this vest yesterday. I'm going to wear it today. I'll wear it tomorrow. It gets into really weird stuff like that, where like when we enter the premises and we have like a backpack or whatever, security has to go through the bag, make sure you're not carrying any guns or knives or anything like that. And then they give you a little bracelet or whatever, a little ticket that says like this bag has been checked. And then you'll see guys on the crew with like 50 of these things. You only need one of them. In fact, it gets really confusing after a while. But guys will not remove those tags because they're like, well, I had a successful day at work yesterday because of all these tags. I need to continue that streak today. So,
yeah, I tried that one out once. I remember early this year, I think it was, when the New Jersey Devils were in the playoffs. And so I wore my New Jersey Devils t-shirt and New Jersey Devils socks. And they were victorious. So I thought, you know what, I'll try this one out. So I wore the same socks, but not the whole day, you know, because that's weird. I just put the socks on just for the game, so they weren't too stinky.
Okay. Nice.
And then they lost like 5-0. I was like, well, that didn't last long. So I know that one's horse shit as well.
I will usually fall in line with if like the Giants won the game yesterday, and then I tune in and like all of a sudden the opposing team has scored 5 runs on them in the first inning. I'm like, oh my god, like I've jinxed the whole thing, and I have to turn the TV off, or I have to like leave the room or whatever. And then sure enough, like they'll come back 7-5 later at the end of the game. Like, so part of my cursed streak is not getting to watch the game. So be it. It's all about the win. You gotta, It's October 13th, and the Taylor Swift concert movie drops today. It's specifically a weekend only engagement, but it'll be on for the next 4 weekends. In fact, it's now international. So this isn't just happening within the United States; it's happening around the world. Which, honestly, when they first announced this, I thought it was happening worldwide, but that was a whole big deal. Like, demand was so big. Now we got to do this in the Netherlands and in Europe and the rest of Spain and all of France.
And other such nations in Europe.
Other such European unions. Mrs. Fish, can I make you go see the Swiftie movie?
No, she can try, but that's not going to happen. Like, no offense, respect Taylor Swift, but I have zero interest in watching her. But yeah, no, my wife's not a big Swiftie, thankfully. However, I'm pretty sure if Queen Bee, Beyonce, did some shit like this, then we will be there opening night. She's obsessed with that woman.
December 1st, put it on your calendar.
Oh, fuck. Is it really? Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. Or it's definitely in December. So yeah, Beyonce has a concert movie also coming out. It's more of a documentary type thing, but that should be pretty good. We were talking about this on the Waffle Box the other day. They announced the Beyonce concert, and it was a Variety article. Yeah, we did.
Oh.
And for some reason, like, the comments were just flooded with, no!
Oh, yes, I remember.
This. Yeah, and it's like, show me the gun that is clearly pointed at your head, making you go to the Beyonce concert. Like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's
the
called
Taylor's
Renaissance, a film by
Renaissance.
Beyonce.
Ooh, I like how you said that. Renaissance.
So it's apparently
Renaissance is a
it
short order chef.
accentuates the journey of the Renaissance tour. So yeah, I think it's going to be like backstage clips and then some songs and stuff. That might be interesting.
Could be. Should be pretty good. There was one of the Facebook groups I'm in. Some guy posted like, because the Taylor Swift concert's coming out this weekend. I don't know why this accent is a thing. There's no movies coming out. I don't know what to do. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like, maybe there's no movie for you this week then. Like, grow up. Like, fucking deal with it. Just move on.
Yeah, no, there's no movie for me. I'm gonna go back up them hills and get the gold then.
This was one of those things where, like, again, I was drunk Facebooking last night when I did this, so I don't remember any of it till I woke up this morning. Again, there's like 20 notifications. I'm like, what the fuck did I do last night? Oh, anyway, after cussing out this dude, this was his genius reply. Shut up.
Oh, burn.
So I hit him with the no, you. Anyway, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, ever since I got off the market, I don't really drunk Facebook anymore because that's pretty much all I used to use it for. Hey, that was the pre-slide into DMs. That was slide into your Facebook Messenger. Hey, you still up?
I'm apparently not doing any of that. Apparently, I'm just like negatively reacting to stupid shit that I'm seeing on Facebook with my blurry vision and slurred speech. Like, you know, Taylor Swift, fuck you. Yeah. Sliding into the DMs, I don't like that phrase. I don't know why you can't just say like, yeah, this person direct messaged me, this person private messaged me. Slide into your DMs sounds nasty.
Well, I mean,
I suppose it's supposed to be, but
yeah, the ultimate perfect outcome of sliding into someone's DM is it does get nasty. So, like, no one wants to slide into someone's DM and then let's go get some afternoon tea. Let's walk in the park hand in hand, and then as we leave, we'll share a firm handshake.
As is with most language these days, though, like, slide into your DMs had a specific meaning to it, meaning like, yeah, I'm hitting on this chick or hitting on this guy or whatever, and now it just means anything, and it literally means like, yeah, slid into Mike's DMs and I'm like, would you like to go get some tea later? And he was like, of course I would. Why wouldn't I want tea? It's 4:00. It's always time for tea.
Well, we're getting to that age as well where certain phrases mean completely different things. Like if someone, if I'm Netflix and chilling, then that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm watching Netflix and chilling out. Like, I don't want to do anything. Hey, you want to go to the other room? No, I'm watching the next episode. I'm relaxing. Leave me alone.
I remember when we just called it a blockbuster night. Hey, girl, why don't you come on over to the house? We'll make it a blockbuster night. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I missed all of that. I went from young, innocent to that my like late teens, early 20s. Just like if I'm inviting you over, or if you're inviting me over, I don't want to sit through Lord of the Rings before I get to do anything. Let's just get to it. I want to be finding my precious. I didn't even. I didn't even use Lord of the Rings purposely, but pun intended.
There you go.
Let me be the Lord of your ring.
Damn, huh?
Damn. It's like that. Microdose after dark.
Ooh, Microdose after dark. Gets a little naughty around here.
You're gonna after listening to this, you're gonna feel a little sticky.
Ew.
And that was the last time I was invited onto the Microdose.
Waffle Box is now canceled.
Yeah.
Anyone
wants to co-host a podcast.
Need to insert a splooge sound effect. What else we want to talk about here? How is Claret and Big Blue going?
As of right now, it's pretty horrific since the New York Giants suck. Like that is the problem with like hosting a podcast like Claret and Big Blue, probably only podcast on the internet dedicated to West Ham United and New York Giants. That's right, football and football balls for everyone's taste. Is that like if you are very like you're in that niche tunnel, there's not much wiggle room of what you can talk about. So if the two teams that you're talking about both lose in horrific style, you know going into that show, it's like, oh, this is going to be a miserable show. Ugh, this isn't going to be fun at all. Like this past Tuesday, the Giants just like again terrible team, and we ended up doing like 10 minutes live on YouTube of us talking about cool things that we might buy on MLB.com with their shops. So we don't want to talk about the Giants. Oh, look at this! This Arizona Diamondbacks cap is pretty cool. Oh yeah, it is. No, it's only $20. That's not bad. It was just like that. It was probably terrible content, but whatever.
Whatever. It's all disposable these days. Although you did just remind me, now that the season is over, I can probably get a new Giants jersey, and for cheap, since they didn't do so well this year. Like that's like the best thing about your team not coming in first. Like, oh, official fan gear is going to be like 70% off. I need to take advantage of this. Like you've seen me wear multiple jerseys on the Waffle Box before, and Jesus, one, those jerseys are all over 20 years old now, which is kind of pathetic. But two, when I bought them, like they were all like 60, 65% off. They were all like $100 a piece. And I walked out for like, I don't know, 25, $30 a pop. I was just like, this is the greatest day ever.
So regular jerseys are still like they're discounted, but they're $105 now.
Fucking hell.
Instead of $150. But see, this is why I don't buy sports gear that much. It's too expensive. Because it's not like I'm going to wear it that often. Just maybe at the bar when the team's playing, or if I'm at the stadium.
Sure.
Like, I'm not going out for dinner wearing a Giants jersey.
No. You'll be the only one not in his Giants gear.
The nice French restaurant. Ooh, I put my nice Saquon Barkley jersey on with a bow tie.
Ooh, there you go. Classy.
That might work, actually. That might work.
Classy, Mike. And the football, your other football team is doing. Did I say West Ham or did I say Manchester?
I believe you said West Ham. West Ham works. Yeah, West Ham United. They're not doing too bad, actually. They're 8 games into the season. We're currently 7th in the Premier League, which is 7 out of 20.
Okay.
Only lost 2 games at the first 8, which I think is probably one of our best starts in quite some time. And then as it gets complicated, we're also in a European league, which that's the whole rabbit hole to explain to someone that doesn't follow soccer. But yeah, we're currently over 2 seasons, we're like 17 games undefeated, which is like a English team's record. So yeah, they're actually they're holding up their end of the bargain, whereas the other football teams suck. So, but that's a weird thing. There's a bit difference between football and football. Is that if the Giants suck, oh well, there's always next year, and we get a nice high draft pick. Whereas if West Ham do really badly, they could be expelled from the league next year. So it's like it's a lot more tense.
I've been watching the Welcome to Wrexham show. Apparently I missed half a season last year. Like I thought they were doing that limited bullshit where it was like, here's 8 episodes to tide you over for a year. And I was like, after the 8th episode or 9th episode, I forget where I dropped off at, but I was under the impression like, oh, this is the season finale. I will have to wait a whole year for the next season. And sure enough, when that did show up, I was like, oh, wow, there's like 10 whole episodes I'm not knowing about? Wow. Okay. So finished season 1. We're now in season 2. We're think 3 or 4 episodes into season 2, and yeah, man, like your football is wildly complicated to the point where, like, at one point they're already in one league with the hopes of getting promoted to another league, but then they were in a separate tournament for some reason. Like, I didn't understand that.
Probably the FA Cup. Is that
yes,
what you're
the
talking
FA Cup. Yes, exactly what
Yeah,
that was.
So the FA Cup, FA stands for Football Association. Basically, what that is it's a tournament that features pretty much every single team in England.
Mm-hmm.
And it all starts at the very lower ends where like the real smaller teams start in their qualifications, and it all ends up with the big crescendo at the end of the year. For example, like this year, 729 teams entered that tournament.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. So it's pretty weird.
That's
Luckily,
exhausting.
because we're a Premier League team, we enter, I think, in the last 64 round, I think it is.
Mm-hmm. I forget who it was. Like, it was someone who knows more about football, soccer than I do. They were like, if we used global football, the rules for that, and compared it to like baseball, then like the Chicago Cubs would be a fucking softball league now.
Yeah,
Like which is wild to think about, but it's also like, maybe that would be for the best. I don't know.
it'd be fun, but it's too much money involved in. Well, there's big money involved in soccer, but because that's the problem. Because it's like the NFL and MLB, they're all basically like McDonald's. They're all franchisees and weird nonsense. Because technically, if a player like Aaron Rodgers for the New York Yankees, isn't he classed as an employee of Major League Baseball, but then the Yankees kind of have the rights to him or something? The way it all technically works, it's all very bizarre.
It's all complicated. They have to follow rules for the league with Major League Baseball, but then they also have to contend with the rules for the actual clubhouse, the Yankees. And I guess sometimes the two clash. Not often, but it happens. What is the deal with them doing exhibitions or friendlies outside of their own countries? Like, so most recently at the future home of Super Bowl 60, we had 2 friendly events that weren't so friendly. There was a football match between like Tikrit and Spain, and I don't know the names of the clubs offhand, but like someone got stabbed. Long story short, someone got stabbed. Jesus, it's like, wow, what the fuck? It's just a game, guys. Come on, what the fuck are you doing? So, but like, forget about the stabbing. Like, why would 2 foreign teams, 2 international teams, 2 teams that are in another time zone entirely come all the way to Santa Clara, California, and just have a friendly?
Pretty much the same reason why the NFL does a couple of games each year in England. It's money, baby. If they can, because like preseason friendlies, obviously they're preseason friendlies, they're just exhibition games, they mean nothing. So if they, let's just say West Ham United play a friendly game against Arsenal, their West Ham Stadium holds like 66,000 people. For a friendly exhibition game, they might get 15, 20,000 people. Like, cause it's like, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
However, if you go into a market where everything's super popular and they never get to see anything, and suddenly you put like West Ham versus Arsenal at MetLife Stadium, suddenly you're getting like 80,000 people there. So it's all about the money, baby. So they do like Premier League tournaments where they'll have like 3 or 4 teams go to like somewhere in Asia and do like a mini preseason tournament. It's because brings in the crowds, baby.
Asia is a lot closer to Europe and the Middle East though than it is Santa Clara. Like if I feel like they're just burning money at that point. Like how many people are a part of any one football franchise? Like there's got to be like I know just. I've been on the sideline for the 49ers, and there's like 100 people there, dude. Like you obviously got all the players, but then there's the coaches, but then there's like just members of the executive staff who've never even laced up a pair of cleats. Like, I belong here in my suit and tie while these men are fighting on the mud. It's like, hey, bud, you're in my way, and you're standing on my cable. Get the fuck out of here. But you can't say that, by the way. And it's just like seems very excessive. Like again, like also again, 9 hours. You're going 9 hours west. Like it just. I get the money part, but it feels like you're spending more money.
Within soccer, there's obviously the 11 players on each team that's on the field, and then just at the side of the pitch, they'll have the 7 reserve players, and then maybe like 2 or 3 coaches, and that's it. Just a lot of this. And I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming as well some of these situations, I'm sure they're sponsored, and some sponsor will pay for them to go out to America or pay for them to go to here, there, the other. So I'm sure they're making money off that. Because obviously, you like to say, they're not. At the end of the day, it's all business. They're not dumb. If they're losing money on it, they're not going to go.
How's women's football these days?
It's getting very popular.
Mm-hmm.
Because they recently had the Women's World Cup, which I tried to watch as much as I could, but for time, because it was hosted in Australia, so time zones wasn't too friendly. So a lot of the games were like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Brutal.
But no, it's very popular, and obviously I don't really want to talk about it too much because England got through to the World Cup final recently and lost to Spain. Bastards. But no, all I know is like my dad's a big fan. He's a big fan of women's football because his problem is I'm sure you've seen clips of European football and things like that where the men's game, you often see like a player running with the ball and then someone tickles him with a feather and he acts as if he's just been shot in the face. Maybe not literally a feather, but you know what I mean? They'll just glance past and they'll just throw themselves to the floor, holding their face and their ankle at the same time somehow because me bumping your shoulder hurt your ankle. It's like it's ridiculous. Whereas like the women's game, it just seems like there's a lot more like when there's someone bangs into you, you fall down, but you get straight back up again. Like, there's no fucking around with them. So my dad appreciated that because it's like, I just get on with it. It's good game, good football. But yeah, then the British sides, they're getting, obviously it's not quite on the still level of popularity of the men's game, but yeah, you get a good crowd of 5,000 to 10,000 at each game in the Women's Super League in the UK. So it's getting up there. Mike Fish says yes to women in men's sport.
There you go. How long do you think it'll be before women actually start playing with the men, like regardless of the sport? Football, baseball, basketball. Like, I mean, things are getting the lines are definitely getting blurry these days, especially with all the gender dropping. So, like, I asked a sports reporter I was working with one day. I was like, hey, a woman's coaching the game now. Like, how long before one is actually stepping up to the plate and going toe to toe with the boys? And this guy was just like, they're still not on this level yet. And I'm like, really? Are you sure? I don't know.
I'm sure there must be some.
I remember, fun, right?
I remember when I used to play soccer at school, and we had a woman or a girl, I guess. 14-year-old girl, but we had a girl on our team. She was very good. She was so yeah, I don't see why it couldn't happen, but you just get in, I guess you get into the argument of like, well, is it fair because men are going to be physically better, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but in other sport, I think you're gonna see it pretty soon in other sports where it's not so much like for example, like Formula One. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a woman Formula One driver in the men's championship, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is sitting in the car and driving. You don't need. There's not much. But yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit. It's like, hey, if you're good enough to do it, do it.
Wow, that really does mean like so. Obviously, no woman is going to be in the NFL or should not be in the NFL unless she's also like the size of China from the old WWF days, like. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, have you seen like some of those like Russian weightlifters in the Olympics? They'll be a good. Stick her in the O line. The Giants definitely use her.
Right. But damn, this really does mean like the National Hot Rod Association is like the most diverse sport in the world. Then, like, if you still don't have a female racer in Formula One, all you gotta do is be small, light, and spit in the fucking box. and turn the wheel. That's it. Like, I mean, you have to have sharp reflexes too and all that good stuff. But like, damn, there's no chicks in Formula One. That's crazy.
Well, again, I don't know whether I haven't done the research and the scientific build up of how a woman's body is built, but maybe it's something to do with the muscle mass and things like that. Because obviously the big thing is a big thing in Formula One is you have to have like a massive neck because because of the speed the cars are going and the angles of the corners. Like some of them, like you're just turning on like 7G corner and shit like that. So, and their heads are like bouncing around. So they have to have a very strong neck. So I don't know. I'm sure a woman can have a strong neck. I'm just saying maybe that's why it hasn't happened yet. I don't know.
No, that was a whole thing in that Gran Turismo movie where, like, you know, the all 10 video game champions finally got put in the seat of a mini rocket ship, and then they're like, "Oh my god, like this thing goes really fast! Holy shit!" Like, and
I'm assuming it's the same in that kind of field, but I know it always made me laugh when I first found out. But in the Formula One car, there's a hook in the car. So when the driver sits in, they have to hook this hook into the helmet.
Okay.
So to stop, so obviously when you're hitting the brakes, so you don't like just headbutt the steering wheel, they have to hook you in so your head stays still.
Okay.
And then they have this big thing around your neck. It's insane.
You know, I've seen the neck protectors. They don't do the hook gimmick in NHRA. Like, in fact, like the box is so compact, like I couldn't even imagine trying to fit myself in it, because those guys literally have to like do this crazy yoga thing where, like, all right, my left shoulder is out, now my right shoulder is out, and now the rest of my body is popped out. They do it a lot quicker, but still, it's like you can't just like stand up and go, "Hey, look at me, I raced a race car." No, they literally have to like contort their bodies to get in and out of the fucking thing. So, but yeah, man, NHRA doesn't matter like how tall you are, how small you are, man, woman, as long as you can fit in the box and hold the wheel steady, because it's just a quarter mile, just a straight line. That's it. You're in. You can control the car. You're in. So, Mike Fish, we've talked about a lot of stuff today. Taylor Swift, superstitions, genders.
Yeah, we went from worrying about breaking a mirror all the way to National Hot Rod Association. What a show!
What a show, man! Like, it's one of our best episodes, I do believe. But
you can have a lot of hashtags to use to promote this show. You're full of it.
Yeah. No,
like, you know, if you put out, hey, new Microdose out, hashtag Taylor Swift, hashtag broken mirror, hashtag national NHRA, people are going to be like, what the fuck was this show?
We were definitely all over the map today, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah, we haven't had an episode like this in a while, so that was good. Mike Fisher, sincerely, thank you for being a part of this, especially on such short notice. Tell the boys and girls where they can find Claret and Big Blue.
At cbbpod.com, that's where you see all the links. If you just go to youtube.com/@cbbpod. That's live every Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, or 3 p.m. West Coast, 11 p.m. British time. However, it's live every Tuesday. We go live for about an hour or so, talking about West Ham New York Giants. You can follow that at cbbpod on the artist formerly known as Twitter. And then, of course, if you enjoyed our weird ramblings, Jesus, a squirrel just ran across a gutter and scared the shit out of me. You can check us out on Wafflebox every Wednesday at waffleboxpod. Oh no, sorry, that's the old at enjoywafflebox.com. New episodes every single Wednesday.
That's great. Right. It is the original Waffle Box. You accept no substitutions. It's the People's Podcast. It's the best part of Wednesdays, coming all the way from the future home of Super Bowl 60. You love us because we do this. We do this because we love you. So, friend of the family, Mike Fish. I've been Kush Hayes. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
from the Bosnet family.
Garbage? Where's the garbage?